Hey guys, Alec in Eternity here, and today I'm reviewing Doctor Who Day of the Moon. This is the conclusion to last week's episode, The Impossible Astronaut. And first up, I just want to say this review will contain massive spoilers, so if you have not seen the episode, go to iTunes, go to Zune Marketplace, download it, watch it, and then come back here, because I don't want to hear you complaining that I spoiled the episode for you. Alright, starting the review now. I really enjoyed this episode. I thought the pacing was much better than last week. The Impossible Astronaut was really all set up. It was setting up the story arc for Series 6 as well as setting up the story for these two episodes. And while Day of the Moon does resolve some of the questions posed in The Impossible Astronaut, it still leaves some unanswered and actually adds more questions that need to be answered. So, yeah, first I'm going to talk about the things I liked about the episode and then some issues I had with it. So, starting with things I liked about the episode, first up, Mark Sheppard as Canton Everett Delaware III. Just a really cool name, very 60s. And, I mean, he did a really good job. You know, he's been in pretty much every science fiction show that has ever been. And I think he's just a really good actor, and I hope his character will return sometimes. Because, I mean, there's really nothing in the episode to say that he can't. So if Mark Sheppard can, I think he will return to the show. Next up, The Silence. They were finally named in this episode, and it was cool to see the Doctor's reaction to them. But they're still very creepy, and I think they're a great addition to the monster lineup for Doctor Who. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see them again at some point. Next up, well, you know, I was hoping that Rory would have more to do in this episode. But, you know, and to an extent he did, but still, since there's so many people in the TARDIS in these two episodes, I mean, there's Amy, Rory, River, Canton, you've got like 4 people. This is bordering on, you know, the 5th Doctor TARDIS and how it was full of companions. But, you know, it's more of a team effort in this. And mostly it works well. No character really took precedent over any of the others. So I think it was written fairly well. Matt Smith, great job. I love his portrayal of the Doctor. He's really done a great job of making the character his own. And I kind of liked the moments he had with Nixon at the end, which was kind of neat. And now the problems I had. First up, why is Canton hunting them down? Why is he hunting down Amy and Rory and River? They didn't really explain what happened in those 3 months in between The Impossible Astronaut and Day of the Moon, other than that they went off to investigate by themselves. I don't exactly understand why they had to go off by themselves to investigate. But, you know, it just didn't really make that much sense. And, you know, Canton was hunting them down and shooting them with, I assume, a tranquilizer dart, even though it sounded just like a regular gunshot. So yeah, I mean, that didn't make much sense. I guess they just had to get everyone together again, but still, they didn't explain it, so that was a little odd for me. Let's see, next up, with River and the Doctor, you know, they have been kind of flirting here and there in the past. But with this episode, when they got back-to-back with each other, and were kind of, I mean, that was definitely kind of a nod to kind of like a sexual thing. So I thought that was a little much for this show. I mean, this is a family show, but it did lead to the nice part at the end with River, it being the last time her and the Doctor kissed. Also, one thing another thing that wasn't explained was when they were building the prison for the Doctor. Obviously, that was some type of alien technology, and since you're at Area 51, you have to assume it's alien technology. But they could have at least mentioned it, because it's still, without being mentioned, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense why they have this technology. But yeah, other than that, those are really the only big issues with the episode. And now I'm going to do some speculating, because we still have a lot of questions that need to be answered. I guess probably the two biggest ones right now are, who is the astronaut that killed the Doctor, and who is that little girl? Also, another question we have is, when Amy was in that children's home, she was looking at the door. It had like a little viewfinder open, and there was a woman in there with kind of like a metal patch thing over her eye, saying that she must be dreaming or something like that. So I'm assuming that's going to get explained somewhere down the line. And of course, we have Amy in a photo holding the baby, which we assume is that child. And why is the child regenerating at the end of the episode? I mean, is Amy really pregnant? I mean, we've got so many questions, and honestly, let's just tackle these one by one. Okay, first up, who is the astronaut that killed the Doctor? Well, I think that obviously the Doctor is going to get out of his death some way. Unless it's the one that gets killed is a clone or something like that, duplicate something. But I mean, could it be that it might be a different version of the Doctor that does it? A lot of people are speculating it's River, but I think that would be far too obvious. I would say my best guess is that it's the person that you would least expect. So my guess is that it is either Rory or Amy. And they have to do this for some reason. Or, on the other hand, it could be someone we have no idea who they are. Could be a complete stranger. Next up. I'm not even going to comment on the lady in the door with the eye patch, because that was just really, really out there, and I don't know what's going on with that. As far as the little girl, who is she? Why was she regenerating? Is she a Time Lord? Well, here's what I'm thinking. From the episode with the showing you the picture of Amy with the baby, they're leading you to believe that this is Amy's child, since she thought that she was pregnant before, and now she's saying she's not. But they're leading you to believe that this is Amy's child, and through some weird circumstance, traveling with the Doctor has turned the baby into a Time Lord or a human Time Lord hybrid, something like that. But you know, I don't know. It could be just a Time Lord that became human, because I think if you look back to Utopia, Professor Yana, who we later find out is the Master. Spoiler there. But he said that he was found as a baby. So it could be that a Time Lord, a Time Lady, we'll say, turned into a human, and what was human as turned into a human as a baby. So I mean that could be it, and through some circumstance with the silence, became a time lady again. Who knows? Who really knows? Because honestly, with Stephen Moffat's writing, I tend to expect the least expected. Because, I mean, they're leading you in one direction, and I think it's going to be something completely different. I don't think that Amy is actually pregnant at all. I personally think that it's just another Time Lord on Earth. Of course, also, you have to think back in this episode that Amy was captured by the Silence for days. So, and they said that something like they honored her, and that her role was soon coming to an end. So, I'm thinking that they want a Time Lord for some reason. That's why they were keeping the child alive for some reason. So maybe they did something. Maybe Amy is pregnant and they did something to her, or maybe they made her pregnant. Who knows? But yeah, I mean that's the end of the speculation. But a very good episode. So I'm going to give this one 5 out of 5 again, and tune in next week when I review The Curse of the Black Spot. Till next time, guys.